Yodegal Kivano Kujvaj, and welcome to another episode of Morning Dribble with Tom. Maybe that's what I should call my show, Morning Dribble. I very seriously doubt if I went to GoDaddy and saw if that domain name was available, morningdribble.com. It's probably available. Hmm, that's probably one that hasn't been snapped up yet. Morningdribble.com. Oh, goodness gracious. You know, I sat down last night to watch TV. It's nice. I got to tell you, if anything good came of all the hard work and remodeling and buying the big TV and the sound system and the sofa and the rug and all that, if anything good came of that, is that it didn't force me, but it inspired me. Perhaps, I don't know. It motivated me. It compelled me. Maybe the better word is compelled me. It compelled me to stop and stop and just relax at the end of the day. Just sit down in my own little movie theater and just watch TV. If anything came of good of it, because before, my living room was seldom used. I would use it. I would use my living room before just to sit there and maybe watch the evening news, and then go up and sit in front of my computer. Hmm. And last night, I sat down and I pulled up YouTube on my computer, and I thought to do a search. I thought to do a search for Adelaide, Australia. Adelaide. As Oz would say, it's very British. I don't know what that means, if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's very British, as Oz would say. But so I decided to kind of poke around and search Adelaide, um, and see what that place was all about. And I found this travel video called South Australia. I guess South Australia is a state in Australia, just like Queensland and Victoria and what have you. South Australia is a state in and by itself. And I watched this video for 30 minutes. And you should see it if you get a chance. It's a wonderful, wonderful video. Very well done. About all the different things you can do and see in South Australia. And one of the things that caught my eye was this park where you can go and snorkel. And you're snorkeling, not with sea turtles, but you're snorkeling with seals, sea lions. And they like you. I don't know if they let you. I don't know if they come up to you and let you, tickle them under their mouth or anything, But but you can swim with sea lions, and there's a place, and this is just nature, mind you. This isn't like some place where you got to pay an admission fee. Well, there might be a fee to get into the park, but you know what I mean. And there's a place also. I don't know if it's the same place where you can swim with dolphins. You just snorkel with dolphins. And boy, I looked at that and I thought to myself, I sent a message to Oz and I said, "Have you been over there? Have you seen this?" "Yeah, well, that's real British," or or something to that extent. Oh, goodness gracious. Oz, every year he goes up to Bali. I guess the Australians like Bali. They like Bali, the Indonesian resort. I've never been to Bali. I can't say. I hear it's a nice place. I see a lot of tourist stuff about Bali, but hmm, as people, we always tend to go back to the same thing. Like I always go back to Hungary. I always go back to Budapest. Sometimes I shake it up. I'll go to Croatia or Portugal or something to that extent. But people like what they know, and they tend to go back to what they know and what they're comfortable with because they know what they can expect. But there's so much else out there that it's a shame to just limit yourself to the same thing time and time and time again. But except when I forget it, I'm not even going to go there. But anyway, so what else is on? So I watched that video, and I found myself thinking that I'm going to fly over to Australia, land on the 17th, and on the 18th, Michelle and I are going up to the Whit Sundays for a week, and I haven't really planned anything after that. I don't know. I tentatively I was going to go back with Michelle to her place and hang out in the Sunshine Coast, and I may very well do that. But alternatively, I might just get on a plane, catch a plane, and it's only a 2.5 hour flight down to Adelaide, and just rent a place in Adelaide for like a week. 7 to 10 days. Just rent a place in downtown Adelaide and do some little side trip excursions on the weekend to kind of explore some of the places, and then move on down to the Land of Oz and all that kind of stuff. But as the saying goes, we will see. Alexa, what's the weather in Fort Myers today?
Currently, in Fort Myers, Florida, it's 72 degrees Fahrenheit with mostly clear skies. Today, you can expect some sun and thunderstorms, with a high of 79 degrees and a low of 52 degrees.
79 and 52. Will you check that out? 79 and 52. And I'm looking outside, I see palm trees kind of blowing right now, and that means when I get out there on my ride, I'll be facing some resistance. Alexa, what's the weather in Cleveland, Idaho?
Right now in Cleveland, Idaho, it's 29 degrees Fahrenheit with cloudy skies. Today's forecast has snowy weather, with a high of 34 degrees and a low of 15 degrees.
Okay, for whatever the hell that's worth. I meant Cleveland, Ohio. And in case any of you wonder why Cleveland, Ohio, that's where I grew up. That's the city where it all began. Cleveland, Ohio. My hometown. And were it not for the weather, I wouldn't mind living in Cleveland, to be quite honest with you, if it weren't for the weather. Put the weather aside, Cleveland is it's a wonderful place. And they've done so much with that city over the years. And they've just got really, really so many beautiful things to do and see up there. And the people up there are really, really good as well. But the weather, it just ruins everything. The weather just ruins everything. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Most of the year, not all the year. But anyway, I sat down. I'm going to share the movie of the week. I opened up my cabinet yesterday with some 300 movies that I've got in my collection, and I was wondering what should I watch. And I've seen all of them before. I've seen 90%, 99% of them before. I still have some that are unopened that I never saw. They were just collector editions or something like that, like Gone with the Wind. I've never seen Gone with the Wind. Never seen it. It's in my cabinet. I've got it on Blu-ray, digitally remastered, I think, but I've never seen Gone with the Wind. Another one that's in there that I don't think I've ever seen is The French Connection. One of these days I'll put those movies in. Hmm. Maybe Gone. I hear Gone with the Wind's a long movie also. Maybe between Gone with the Wind and The Irishman, I'll have enough for the not only the trip down to Australia but the flight back as well. And oh goodness, but the movie that I opted to see, and it's a movie I can't recommend highly enough. Absolutely an incredible movie. Can you see that? It's called The Lives of Others. And it is it's a phenomenal book. It takes place before the fall of the Berlin Wall. East Germany's secret police listen to your secrets. And it is it's classic. It won the Academy Award for Best Foreign Language Film. The movie's in German, and you got to listen to it, or you got to watch it and read English subtitles, which is, I'm okay with that. I'm okay. That's fine. I used to go to movies in Budapest, and they were in Magyar, and I'd read the English subtitles or whatever. But boy, folks, I got to tell you, if you if you want to catch a good movie, The Lives of Others. It really is a phenomenal movie. And the ending of the movie, the ending of the movie is nothing short of exceptional. It's just the ending of the movie is just incredible. And anyway, there was a line in that movie that I remembered from years back when I watched this movie before. It caught my interest. And there was a quote that writers are engineers of the soul. Writers are engineers of the soul. And I thought about that as I sat there watching the movie. And I think Lenin is a person who said that writers are the engineers of the soul. And I remember back to the day when I was writing, when I was doing my journal, before YouTube came along and messed everything up. I was driving around places in Europe every day, chomping at the bit to open my computer and start typing my story. My fingers were extensions of my soul. I swear to God. There was nothing. I just, when I would open up that laptop, and my 8 fingers would hit those home keys, A D S F J, whatever it is. When my fingers would hit those home keys, those 8 keys on that keyboard, it was like the gates of my soul had been opened, and I would just type out what was on my mind, and it was rather quite interesting, really. Back in the day when I was sharing my thoughts via the written word as opposed to the spoken word, it was quite a different time. But the human soul is a topic that always fascinates me. It always does, and it's like the soul. You like to think that when you die you live forever. Your soul just continues on. Your existence, your sense of being, your sense of being continues on forever. And I wonder, at the point of conception, when the soul comes into when you're conceived, in the womb, and the soul, I would assume that the soul attaches at that point of conception. And at that point in time, does the soul have a sense of being the same that it would have a sense of being when you leave this world? So is the soul is it the same soul coming into the world as it is leaving the world, or does the soul mature and develop uh, through the existence of you? And it's a fascinating. I mean, you think about it. You think about it. What was the soul before the soul, uh, entered your entered your physical existence, or was there a soul before it entered your physical existence? So it's just a just interesting, and then the other thing interesting about the soul is that oftentimes people will say they found their soulmate. You found your soulmate. Well, I've always wondered, if you find your soulmate and then your soulmate passes away, and you go and you meet another soulmate, or you meet another person, what happens when the three of you all end up in heaven? Are you are you going to hang around like together as souls? You know what I'm talking about? But anyway, just rather deep conversation. Deep. This is the kind of conversation that you'd sit around with a guy like Mark and Eric and Mike, and talk about this kind of stuff. But anyway, time to get on with my day. Oh, before I forget, 60 Minutes last week had an episode about this guy up at, I'm not sure what school it is, Harvard or something like that. They're working on reversing the entire aging process. And from what I understand, they're not that far away from being able to reverse the aging process. And I'd be curious to know what people think about that. A lot of people would say, "Oh, that's playing God." You start reversing the aging process. Now you're playing God. But what if? What if? I don't know how old some of you are out there, Mark or Eric or what have you. What if your age could be reversed? What if you could reverse your age and say, okay, I want to go back to 33. Boy, when I was 33, that was a good time. I'm going to go back to 33 and I want to stay 33. Would you do it? I mean, seriously, if you could reverse your age to any age in your life and stay there indefinitely, would you do it? Kind of an interesting question, isn't it? I don't know. Given the trajectory that our society's on, that our world's on, I don't know that I don't know that I'd want to stick around forever. Maybe, but as far as playing God goes, for those of you out there that say, "Oh, that would be playing God," no, you can't do that. That would just be playing God, reversing the aging process. Well, the leading cause of death, probably, I could be mistaken, but the leading cause of death probably is old age. Old age is the leading cause of death. Well, just as, right up there with the leading cause of death being old age, if it is, I think it is. But right up there with the leading cause of death being old age is probably cancer as a leading cause of death, okay? Or heart disease or whatever. And, we're always welcoming advances in medicine that go to cure and solve those problems, like cancer. We're all waiting, on pins and needles for the big announcement that they cured cancer. Well, what if they cured aging? What if they came out with a cure for aging? just like they'd come out for like a cure for cancer or a cure for heart disease. You know, I've really got Mark thinking today. Mark's sitting there, he's thinking, boy, Tommy, that's really some thought-provoking stuff that you're spewing out today from your from your kitchen. But I don't know. So it's like one of my favorite questions from the Book of Questions. If you could live to the age of 90, having retained either the body or the mind of a 30-year-old, what would you choose? If you could live to the age of 90, and in doing so, retain the age or the mind or the body of a 30-year-old person, would you choose the body or choose the mind? Kind of an interesting question. So with that, we'll do talking about questions. We'll do the question of the day. I think I'm in 5 in a row right now. And I wonder if I should take her with me to Australia. Maybe they've got like maybe they have a mini one of her. Alexa, what's the question of the day?
Good morning. Here is today's question of the day. The topic is geography. It is worth 2 points. Which country is informally known as Holland? You can answer A, Luxembourg, B, Belgium, C, Denmark, or D, the Netherlands.
What is D, the Netherlands?
You have 6 correct answers in a row. You have earned your 12.
I'm 6 in a row. What are these for elementary kids or what? These questions. You know, sad thing is that if you wrote these questions down and went down to a local shopping mall and asked 100 kids under the age of 21 these questions, I'd be surprised if 5% got the answer to these questions. So anyway, for those of you that remember, I'm going to see Yanae today. I'm driving 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours to deliver some things to her. I'm taking her a really nice sound bar that I've got that I replaced with the Sony. I'm taking her a big TV that I have, and I'm taking her a nice leather reclining love seat, a rather comfortable love seat. I kind of hate to give it up, to be quite honest with you, but I know that Yanae is going to enjoy all of it. And I debated making the drive 3.5 hours, 3.5 hours there, 3.5 hours back, staying in a hotel room or Airbnb and whatever, just so I can give this stuff to her and her daughter. And I could have been cleaning grout. I could have been cleaning grout in my tile or something like that. Boy, there's a lot of chatter this morning on my comments. What is everybody let's see what everybody's talking about here. I think Oksana is on here. Is your recent date gone with the wind? Is your recent date gone with the wind? I don't know. That expression belongs to Stalin, and he didn't mean metaphysical soul, but psychology of people. There you go. Oksana, you are very, very smart. I'd run out of money if I lived forever. Hi, Oksana. Good morning, Mark, John. You see, I'm building community. That's what I'm doing with these videos. I'm building a little community amongst you all. What would I do? I mean, if I stopped doing videos, I would be taking away your sense of community. You see, I can't. How could I possibly live with myself, knowing that I'm depriving you all of your social engagement with one another. Anyway, so John, you had asked me about taking my videos down too soon or whatever. If I'm not mistaken, you just have to subscribe and click that little thing or whatever, and you'll get an email. You'll get an email that says Tom Hall just uploaded a video or something like that. And as long as you have that email, Oksana, she saves them all. She indexes them. Oksana, she's got quite an elaborate system down. She'll get the email every day of what it is, and then she'll summarize it. She'll summarize what I was talking about, and then she indexes it. And she's doing that because she knows that one day there is the very good possibility that I may run for president. And she's going to take all that footage, she's going to take all those videos, and she's going to go to CNN with it. And she's gonna take all these video clips that I've done over the years about talking about Trump and talking about all this, socialism and liberalism and capitalism and all this stuff. And she's gonna use it against me with CNN if I ever decide to run for president. I know. I know what she's doing. Don't think that I'm fooled. But anyway, oh goodness gracious. Is it time to leave for Australia yet? Watch that video. Watch that movie, Lives of Others. But also check out that video on YouTube. Just search South Australia or something. You'll see it. It's got a beautiful big image like of a sunset or something like that. But anyway, time to get on with my day. Time to get on with my bike ride. So 20 miles. I'm going to put in 20 miles today. So my legs are getting a little bit stronger. They're not as sore and stiff as they were when I started riding a couple months ago. I think I've been riding now a couple months. So, all right, everybody out there, have a great day. Okay? Don't those refrigerator magnets look great right there? I don't know. I might have to buy another. I might have to buy another refrigerator for the garage. If I get more refrigerator magnets, we will see. So anyway, all right, everybody, have a great day. Take good care.